What is going on, YouTube? Today, I thought I would give you guys this scene you see right here for free. I made it yesterday and I plan on using it when Classic Plus comes out, and I thought, why not share it with everyone, because not everyone has the skill set to make something like this. So if you're just here for the free scene and you don't want to see me yap on about how to set it up or how to use the different scripts with it, that is totally fine. There's going to be a link for you below in the description to a Google Drive, and I have everything you need to set it up yourself there. The only thing I ask you guys to do is just engage with the video in some fashion, like thumbs up, comment, I don't care. I just want this channel to grow, and that'll help push me out into more people's feeds. And if you're a Horde member thinking, wow, that's really cool, but I would never use an Alliance scene, I totally understand that. Just let me know. I actually was already debating making a Horde one because I had so much fun making this one, and that would just motivate me to do it. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what you're seeing and what's capable with this. And we will start with this panel over here on my left. So you can see right now it says new subs and memberships, and that's exactly what it is. If someone subscribes to you on Twitch or joins with a membership on YouTube, their name will auto-populate right there. And as you can see, it'll then flip over and it'll say new followers, and this is going to be your new subs on YouTube and your new follows on Twitch. Now, there is a caveat with this, and that is subs on YouTube must be public from the person subbing to you. So that is nothing wrong with your system, and I just wanted to explain that for that way if you're only using this on YouTube, you're like, they're not all showing up, only some of them do. That's actually just a privacy thing from YouTube. There's nothing you can do about that. I don't want you to think your system is broken. It's not. That comes down to that member or that person setting up their privacy settings inside YouTube itself. Now, Twitch follows work exactly as you expect. Every single one shows up, and every single membership will show up too. I should add that YouTube memberships do show up. I have access to see every single person that is a part of my community. Now, on this side over here, it says the Warband because that is the name of my community. And what it's currently going through is a list of names of everyone that is in my community. And the top, it says 14 because I currently have 14 members or memberships on YouTube. This would also show your Twitch subs. I don't have any Twitch subs. I actually just became a Twitch affiliate today. I could have been a while ago, but I have a big issue with Twitch's invasive ads. I'm sure you guys have all experienced. So I was trying to hold off as long as possible, but now they just put ads on everything. It doesn't matter if you're part of their affiliate program or not. So I finally folded and said, whatever, just sign me up. But so yeah, yours will show Twitch subs and YouTube memberships over here of your current members, not new members, long-standing ones. So that's what you'll see here. Mine only has memberships. I just wanted to clarify that for you. Didn't think it only worked for one or the other. Finally, right above me, what you're looking at isn't just a banner. That's actually my background. This is your actual screen. So if you're playing WoW actively, that would show up behind you right here, just so you guys can see all the different parts of it. Now, from here, I want to show you guys kind of how we set it up and what to do to get this working on your end. So let me go ahead and switch over to this screen here, and I'm going to launch another copy of OBS just so we can kind of work through it, and I'll try to explain it because it can get a little confusing unless you have a visualization. So this is obviously the scene we're currently working with, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to turn everything off here so that way we can just start with a black screen right here. And the way this works is essentially you're going to be making a sandwich, all right? So this base layer right here, if I turn that on, you can see it has everything except for the frames and the desk in it. So the 3 frames and the desks are all missing. And then if I turn on frames and desk layer right here, you can see those are now visible. So those are essentially the outside of your sandwich, and everything you want to have depth, such as yourself behind a desk or your screens or anything like that, they go in between. So it's these 3 right here. So if I go display capture, this is my monitor, and there it is right there. And then these 2 right here are the feeds you've seen in those other 2 frames. They're not currently showing up because I'm using them on the copy I'm recording this on, but they would be there otherwise. Finally, you can see I actually have 2 more here, and what these are going to actually, if I turn them both on, you can't see any difference. Those are actually my camera and another set of frames, so my head has depth in front of the frame, but behind the desk. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what I mean on the other one. So let me switch back to this scene real quick here. And as you can see all those frames behind me? That's because of that 3rd layer right there, right? So that's what that layer is actually doing. So let me go ahead and switch back now. So what it's doing is if I go ahead and unlock these real quick here, you can see if I click on this one, it's actually only half a layer. I've pulled it down. So you don't actually see the frames here. It's just the desk, not this back frame. So this back frame is coming off of the other one, which is right here. This is going to be everything, as you can see by the red outcome. And this one's only half. So that way the desk is there. And that way I have depth of being behind the desk, but in front of the frames. Now, if I did this right, I would have rendered out the desk and frames on separate videos, and that way you can just set them up. But I didn't do it that way, and I didn't want to go backwards. So this is an easy workaround. If you were like, wait, I want to look exactly like yours, that's how you do it. All right, so cool. That's pretty much all you have to do in here. I'm not going to go into some crazy in-depth thing about setting up OBS and Streamer.bot and everything else we use with it. I'm just going to kind of touch on them and hope you have some base knowledge. And if not, AI exists these days, so it can kind of answer all your questions. There are a couple things I want to touch on because you have to understand them to get this to work. So we're going to go ahead and dive into those now. And the first few are going to be dealing with these right here, these browser sources you have right here. So if I click and open this browser source, of course, it's going to be blank right now because it's feeding into the one we're actually recording on. But what I want you to notice is a few things. One, this is not a local file. Don't check local. Naturally, you would check local because that's what you do because it's saved to your computer, but that's not what we're going to do this time. We're going to leave it as a non-local file, okay? And then this URL right here is very important, and yours must be right for your machine. So the way you get it right is like this. So let me go ahead and open up wherever you save these files to. Mine is going to be right here, right? Yes. Okay. So lobby stats overlay. This is mine. Okay. And that yours will have the same name. That's the download name for it, right? And if I double click this right now and open it, it's going to open up to something like this, and yours will look the same. And there's a reason you can do this. And that's mainly to make sure it's working. As you can see, is like it's in demo mode right now. So names are going to move around and stuff like that. And then over here, it says live. It's letting you know, hey, I'm working. But also this URL right here, that's the one you need. So we're going to go ahead and Control C to copy that. And then if you come back inside here, we're going to go over here, and if you just hit Control V, you'll paste it in there, and there's your URL right there. Now, there is a caveat, and this part you can't just copy and paste. You have to write in. And let me go back. As you can see, the difference is right here. It says box =feed, and you're going to have to type that in at the end of it. So even when you copy and paste, when you copy and paste again, you can see that it gives you to the HTML, but everything after that, that hashtag or pound sign, whatever you want to call it, box =feed, you're going to have to add that in yourself by typing it in. Now, what that does is it tells the script that, hey, this goes into the box that is the live feed for like follows and everything. This is that box, okay? And then the other one, which is right here called warband feed, it's the same thing. You're going to paste in the exact same thing. And again, it's going to be hashtag box =warband to tell the script on this side. That part you have to add yourself. That's the only part. But if you don't add it, it won't work. So make sure you do that. And as you can see, it's local is unchecked. And then these are you can make these whatever you want. These are what I found fit in the frame. Okay. You can adjust them to your liking. Of course, you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. But if you're looking for a frame of reference, these are what I use in order to get the actual feed, the actual text inside that frame. And then to get it at the angle, because I know somebody's going to ask, I use the 3D effect plugin for OBS, and you can just give that a Google if you want, or I can give you a link below as well to that. All right, so that is kind of how you get this part set up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to edit the script to make it more your own. I just want you guys to know that it's actually not that hard. It just looks overwhelming at first, okay? So first thing I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to open up the script itself. So wherever you save that at, it's going to be lobby stats overlay, same name as mine. And instead of double clicking open in a browser, this time you're going to right click open with, and you're going to click notepad or whatever you want to open it with, right? And I'm going to go ahead and make this big, and I'm going to go to the top just so you can get a look at the whole thing. And don't let this overwhelm you. This is just a script I had Claude make, and then I just refined it down to what I wanted it to do, right? And really, you can read through it if you want, but the only thing you really need is going to be scrolling down this section right here. It starts at labels here, and it comes down to this line right down here where it's just a bunch of names, right? So this is what you're going to edit, and this is what yours is going to look like when you get it, okay? And let's just talk about what you have to edit to make it yours, right? So a couple things right off the bat, it says demo true, debug true. Those both need to change to false. So I'll go ahead and change mine right now just so you guys have an idea. False. False, okay? And make sure you don't accidentally need a colon or any parentheses or anything like that, okay? Just the words themselves, right? So the reason I had to change those both to false is when you're setting it up and yours comes in demo mode on purpose, is that way there's names inside the actual frame, so you can see where to put it so it looks right, right? But once you go live, you don't want that to continually just move with like fake names. You want it to be your real community. So go ahead and change those both to false, and it'll stop doing that, all right? From there, right here where it says warband, the warband, that is going to be on my scene. So let me show you real quick if I come back to this scene right here. See where it says the warband over there? Warband is obviously the name of my community. That's not the name of your community. So what you need to do is you need to type in whatever you wanted to say there. So like I used to use on an old channel a long time ago, Aspire, right? So if I type Aspire, it'll now say Aspire there. And if you see the straight line right here, that's letting you know where the color begins. Like after that line, it's in yellow. Before that, it wasn't. So the word the was not in yellow, okay? And then furthermore, what you're seeing here is these are my memberships now. So if you sign up, if you hook this up and you don't add any names in here, it'll just be blank. And as people resub or sub, it'll start populating and adding them through the cache, okay? They won't be in this list. What this list is people that were already a part of my community and I wanted to add them in so they would be on there before I got this, right? So in order to do that, you simply come in here, exactly what it says. You just can kind of read this little note right here. It says, edit freely, platform, where you want them to be, right? So you would put their name in here. So for me, it'd be Mobes, and I'm on YouTube, or maybe they're on Twitch, right? So you'd write the word Twitch right here in parentheses, and you'd write the name there, and that's it. You just have to manually add them. Kind of sucks, but you only got to do it once, and then you're good to go. Or you just don't do it at all, and as they resub, it adds them to the cache and stuff like that, right? Once you're done with all your changes here, you can simply come here and click save. Quick note, if you're like, I don't want your names on mine, that is totally understandable. You can simply come through and notice all the brackets I'm deleting. You can go like this right here, and I'm going to clean it up. And essentially what you're looking for is this right here. See how it has bracket, bracket, nothing else? Perfect. So now if I come over here and I go save all, and if I switch back, it's going to look the exact same. And you go, what the heck? No, I will show you why it looks the exact same right now. Let me open one of these up, and then I'm going to go back to the main screen and drag it over so you can see. So on each one of these are going to be your browser sources, which you're already in. Right here, it says refresh cache of current page. That is what you're going to click. Once you click that, and click OK, and you're going to have to do it for both of them. So let me go ahead and do it for the other one real quick. Refresh cache of current page. Perfect. Now you can see it says the Aspire. These are people, like, right? These are going to be people that have recently joined my communities on both sides, and this is going to be your real people now. And as you go through, it'll update them continuously. Now, I can tell you absolutely unequivocally right now that those 4 people are not a part of me because I don't have a single Twitch sub. So I don't know why they stayed there. It's not a big deal. As the real ones come in, they should go away. And if they don't, for some reason, I'll make an update at some point and give you guys that. But I wouldn't worry about that too much because I know for a fact these are real names over here, which tells me we are good to go. And it's not updating anymore. So that's probably why. Okay. And that's essentially how this part is used. Now, that's all good. Script works. It's firing locally, but somehow it's got to talk to Twitch, right? So that's an important part. And that is the part. Let me exit all this junk out of the way here. That's where this comes in right here. And this is Streamer.bot. I'm not going to go over how to use Streamer.bot. If you've never used Streamer.bot before and you made it this far and you're like, what the hell, dude? You didn't say you're going to use that. I apologize. You are going to need Streamer.bot in order to use this. Unless you just want to use the video files, you're welcome to do that. And you can do all that stuff, of course. But for as far as the live feed parts, you have to have Streamer.bot. If you want to know how to use Streamer.bot, there's this guy named Nutty on YouTube, like literally Nutty. He is way better than me at YouTube, and he has great tutorials on it that can show you guys everything you want, right? So what you're going to do is, in order to add this, if you do want to use, you're going to go to Actions, come into Actions, and right here, follow main screen, because that's off on my main screen. Whatever yours is named, it doesn't matter. You're just going to right-click and click Add and write it in. That's all I did right here. As you can see, everything stayed default. I'm just showing you, so if you have to pause it, you can see my settings. Then over here, it basically goes, what action do you want? I want a follow action on my main screen. What is going to trigger that action? This right here, a Twitch follow will trigger it, and a Twitch subscriber will trigger the action, okay? And then it'll give what it's triggering is called the sub action. So right here, if you're like, well, how do I find those? You can either right click and go to add, and you can search through all these menus. And if you get in here, there's a lot, right? There can be a lot. Or you can just come up here, you can type in the word follow, and right there, Twitch channel follow. You can click add it, and just like that, it just added it again. So that is exactly how you can do it. Let me delete a couple of these for I don't forget to later. All right, and then you can do the same thing for YouTube. Just you can search new subscriber and do the same thing, okay? Now, let's talk about what's down here. There's going to be some code down here. Again, it's going to be just copy and paste on your end. And in order to copy and paste into this execute code, you have to use Control-C and Control-V. You can't just right-click. I've seen some people get hung up on that before, and I don't want it to happen again. So what you're going to need is a set argument and an execute code. And you find those the same way. You come up here, you go set argument, right there, core argument, set argument. That's the one you want, and you type in execute code. Core C# execute C# code. Click on both those, right? And they'll put them in, they'll open them up, and this is what you want, right? You want this right here. I'm going to leave it on the screen. You should be able to copy and paste it in, but in case yours is not looking a little weird, this is what you want. Once you get it, you're like, cool, it's going. You're going to go compile, save, okay. And it should go through. So if you compile, it'll say compiled successfully, save it, click okay. You could get an error down. If you're going to error down here, that's a very specific reason. I would feed it to an AI, or you can ask me and I'll try to help you. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a little bit longer than if you just try to feed it to an AI and get your things, right? But this is what you want right there. When you first type in execute here and get a code, you're going to get this right here. This is what you're going to get as a default one. Go ahead and delete all that and just type in what is, or copy and paste in what I told you to copy and paste in. And that way it looks like that one. And then you're going to also need a set argument. And inside the set argument, this is, again, it's got to be correct, right? So for the follows, right? The follow one, there's a reason these are separated. For the follows, you want variable name box, value free. And what that means is when people like follow you or subscribe to you on YouTube, it's a free tier, right? And it'll show up under the follows. And then if we go over to this one right here and click on execute code, you're going to need box paid. And that way, when it flips over to like your subscribers and stuff like that, their names will show up there. That's just separating them and showing you the difference between them. I don't really like that it's free and paid, but it worked out that way. All right, so cool. So this again was all under follow. Now let's look at membership or subs. Very similar situation. What do you want? How do you want to trigger it? I want a subscription from Twitch. Okay, that's fine. You go sub and you can come up here and it's going to be, it's going to start showing up in here. So subscription. Sorry, I was trying to make it longer so it would show up easier, but it's just not, but that's fine. I can just scroll down and find Twitch subscription right there. Okay, so that's it. You just click it and you add it just like before. No big deal there. This box lives here now apparently. And then down here, it's again, box paid. And then for the variable name box value paid and then execute code. This is the same exact code as the last one. Same exact process. Okay. The only difference here is that this is different. Okay. It's just paid instead of free. Cool. And then make sure, this is big. I should have said it sooner. Make sure set argument is above execute code. And you can simply click and drag them to rearrange them if you need to, just like that. So make sure they are set just like this. Okay. That matters because it goes in descending order when it fires. So it has to be set that way. And the only other caveat I want to tell you guys about is right here where it says YouTube General New Sponsor. That is actually membership. It's not called membership in Streamer.bot. I couldn't begin to tell you why. I'm sure somebody smarter than me knows. But if you go into YouTube and you come over here and you're like, man, I just want to add a YouTube membership, you're going to have a hard time finding it under membership for some reason. But it does exist under sponsorship. So just a heads up there. That's why it says new sponsorship here. And you can search new sponsor and it would show right there. So that is it. I think that is all the parts, boys. That is everything to run this scene. If you have any questions, drop them below. Throw me a like, throw me a sub if you used it, if it helped you. Again, I always try to help people. People ask a lot inside the comments, and I get to them as much as I can throughout my entire channel. In addition to that, we do have a Discord, and I know people are like, oh, my Discord community. I don't really give a shit if you ever talk in there, but I do like it when people open help threads there because it allows me to help you in a help thread, and that's a lot easier than trying to do it through comments, So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.